To operate infrastructure of this physical magnitude requires engineers to solve a very specific mathematical and physical problem: distance. While distributed control systems and programmable logic controllers handle automation inside the confines of a single plant, SCADA, Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, exists specifically to manage extreme geographic dispersion. A local DCS executes precise millisecond by millisecond closed-loop control over a single process. SCADA operates at a higher level, performing continuous supervisory control over sites that might be states or even countries apart. Keeping tabs on the health of thousands of distant machines day in and day out is highly repetitive. Relying on manual monitoring to execute this inevitably leads to errors caused by operational fatigue. To automate this, the core bottleneck becomes data transport: how to reliably acquire raw telemetry from dispersed edge locations and transmit it back to a central hub. Over the last 50 years, these systems have progressed through 4 distinct generations, evolving from isolated mainframe hardware to interoperable, cloud-based software ecosystems. The brain of any SCADA architecture is the Master Terminal Unit, or MTU. It acts as the central host server and the absolute commander of the network. Out at the edge sits the Remote Terminal Unit, or RTU. Its job is to collect analog data from field sensors, digitize it, and wait for instructions. The first generation of this architecture, known as Monolithic SCADA, relied entirely on massive, standalone mainframe computers. These first-generation systems used completely proprietary protocols, forming a closed-loop environment between the master controller and its RTUs. For redundancy, an identical backup mainframe connected directly at the bus level would take over if the primary failed. System miniaturization launched the second generation, distributed SCADA. Processing power was distributed across multiple stations via a local area network. A dedicated communications server handled RTU traffic, which significantly reduced the processing load on the main operator stations. But while processing power was now distributed internally, the system's external wide-area network communications were still trapped in vendor-locked silos. Connecting a central control room to dozens of remote RTUs requires strict physical and logical organization, especially over long distances where bandwidth is scarce. A point-to-point topology provides a dedicated channel for a single RTU, but separate lines are expensive. Shared setups, like multi-drop architectures, reduce required channels. In massive deployments, regional sub-MTUs gather data locally, preventing the primary MTU from being overwhelmed. When multiple RTUs share a single physical line in a multi-drop setup, the system needs rigid logical protocols to prevent data packets from colliding. One solution is standard polling. This is a time-critical round-robin sequence orchestrated entirely by the MTU. The hierarchy is absolute. An RTU remains completely silent on the network until its specific address is sequentially queried by the MTU. To save bandwidth, networks also use polled report by exception. In this mode, the RTU only initiates a data transfer back to the master if it detects a physical change in an input variable. By calculating the exact fusion of physical network geometry and rigid polling rules, early engineers successfully optimized industrial telemetry for low-bandwidth connections. As industrial automation scaled up, the industry demanded open system architectures. This drove the third generation, networked SCADA. Proprietary links were stripped out and replaced by wide-area networks. True hardware interoperability became possible through the adoption of open protocols, primarily DNP3 in the Americas and Asia, and IEC 60870-5 in Europe. A device from one manufacturer could now seamlessly replace a device from another. Standardization paved the way for Generation 4, IoT SCADA. This shifted systems towards cloud computing, centralizing storage while giving control to mobile clients. To secure this, open protocols like TLS allow engineers to patch vulnerabilities simultaneously across the entire network. This era also shifts data architecture. Instead of pulling data from rigid PLC memory addresses, SCADA uses an object-oriented approach. Through data modeling, diverse incoming signals from hundreds of sensors are mapped into unified virtual device representations within the cloud. Generation 4 officially decoupled SCADA from localized hardware constraints, establishing a highly scalable, platform-independent ecosystem. Let's trace a single data point. An RTU reads an analog voltage from a field sensor, digitizing it. This data pushes upward through the communication interface to the MCU. The MTU instantly evaluates it, determining whether to trigger an alarm or adjust a set point. That raw telemetry is then routed to the human-machine interface, rendering it into an actionable, graphical mimic diagram for the operator watching the screens. Simultaneously, the data historian timestamps and archives this continuous stream of Boolean events and alarms, building a database for long-term trend analysis. The ultimate engineering triumph of SCADA is its ability to maintain this precise, continuous feedback loop across vast geographical divides, day and night, without fail. By evolving from isolated mainframes connected by copper wire to cloud-native, object-oriented networks, SCADA now functions as the interoperable nervous system of global infrastructure.